Søren Kierkegaard's exploration of individual is a cornerstone of his existential philosophy. Regarded as the father of existentialism, Kierkegaard emphasizes that the individual is not merely a static or collective entity, but a dynamic, self-realizing being on a journey toward authenticity and spiritual fulfillment. This concept is central to his works, particularly The Sickness Unto Death and Either Or. Kierkegaard asserts that the individual must break free from societal conventions, collective norms, and external pressures. True selfhood involves turning inward and confronting one's own existence, rather than conforming to social roles or expectations. This inward journey is marked by a quest for an authentic relationship with God, the self, and the world. Kierkegaard emphasizes the necessity of making a leap of faith, a surrender to the subjective truth of existence. The self, according to Kierkegaard, is a synthesis of opposites: the finite and the infinite, the temporal and the eternal, and necessity and possibility. The task of becoming a self is to reconcile these tensions, recognizing one's limitations while striving towards spiritual potential. Failure to navigate this dialectic leads to despair. Despair is central to Kierkegaard's understanding of the individual. It arises when the individual either fails to recognize their true self or resists the self's development. Despair manifests in various forms. 1. Despair of the finite, when the individual is consumed by worldly concerns or defines themselves solely by external factors like wealth or societal expectations. 2. Despair of the infinite, when one becomes detached from reality, lost in fantasies or grandiosity. 3. Despair of defiance, a refusal to submit to the self's dependence on God, rejecting divine authority and self-sufficiency. Rather than being purely negative, despair is a necessary condition for self-discovery. By confronting despair, the individual begins the journey toward authenticity and self-realization. Kierkegaard presents 3 stages through which an individual progresses toward full selfhood. 1. Aesthetic stage. The individual seeks pleasure and avoids responsibility, living superficially without confronting deeper existential truths. 2. Ethical stage. The individual begins to take moral responsibility and self-examination seriously. This stage involves a growing awareness of one's duty to oneself and others, but remains incomplete without a relationship with God. 3. Religious stage. The highest stage, in which the individual enters a personal relationship with God. It is characterized by faith, surrender, and existential freedom. Kierkegaard's concept of the individual is rooted in the idea that truth is subjective. Objective truths, such as scientific facts, are not sufficient for personal transformation. The individual must make a leap of faith, embracing the uncertainty of life and the paradoxes of faith. This leap is not based on rational evidence but on inward trust and passion. Freedom and responsibility are central to Kierkegaard's concept of the individual. True freedom does not mean doing whatever one desires, but aligning oneself with deeper truths and responsibilities. The individual must take full responsibility for their life and choices, transcending societal norms and standing alone before God. Anxiety, or the dizziness of freedom, plays a crucial role in individual development. It arises when the individual becomes aware of their potential and the infinite possibilities of life. Instead of fleeing from anxiety, Kierkegaard encourages individuals to embrace it as a sign of growth and self-awareness. Additionally, the concept of repetition, the continual striving towards self-realization, is essential to reaffirming one's faith and purpose in the face of life's challenges. For Kierkegaard, the relationship between the individual and God represents the highest form of existence. This relationship requires humility, surrender, and faith, enabling the individual to fully realize their potential. Becoming an individual ultimately means standing alone before God, without reliance on societal norms, traditions, or external validation. Kierkegaard's concept of the individual is a dynamic, ongoing process of becoming. It involves facing despair, embracing ethical responsibility, and surrendering to a higher spiritual calling. The search for the self is, in Kierkegaard's view, the most profound human endeavor, culminating in a transformative relationship with God that enables true authenticity, freedom, and the fulfillment of human potential. Kierkegaard's vision of the individual is a deeply personal, spiritual, and existential journey towards self-realization and truth. May your search lead you to freedom, authenticity, and the fulfillment of your human potential. Thank you for watching. If you find this video insightful, please share with your friends and family. Stay blessed.